those random patchy bald spots. And guess what they found? Many of these patients had one thing in common. Yep, low levels of vitamin D. What is up guys, and welcome back to another hair loss video. Today we are shining a light on a crucial nutrient often associated with bone health, but its impact goes far beyond that. Vitamin D. We are exploring its significant role in hair health and how its deficiency actually might contribute to hair loss. You might be familiar with vitamin D as the sunshine vitamin, essential for maintaining strong bones and overall health and all of that. But recent studies have revealed that its benefit extend way beyond bones and into our hair health as well, influencing not just its growth, but also playing a key role in actually preventing hair loss. So in this episode, we will dive deep into what vitamin D actually does for our hair, the science behind it, and how you can ensure that you are getting enough of it to keep your hair healthy and strong. So let's get started and uncover the science of vitamin D and the impact on our hair. First off, exactly what is vitamin D? It's not just a vitamin per se. It is actually a hormone produced by your body when your skin is exposed to the sunlight. But vitamin D isn't just about catching some sun rays out there. It is also found in foods like fatty fish, egg yolk, and fortified milk. Of course, some of you might be wondering, what does this nutrient actually do for my hair? Well, vitamin D actually plays a really important role in your hair growth cycle. It is like the director of a hair growth movie, ensuring that everything runs smoothly from, action to cut. Without enough vitamin D, your hair follicles might get a bit, so to say, lazy, slowing down hair growth, or actually in dramatic cases, it can actually just blunt your hair growth completely and by then contribute to hair loss. But vitamin D isn't actually just a one-trick pony. It is also essential for the overall health, supporting bone health, immune function, and even mood regulation. Yep, that is right. Vitamin D, a lack of that, can actually make you feel, kind of blue. And I'm not just talking about your hair color or anything like that. You can really get depressed if you don't get enough vitamin D, especially during the winter time. So how do we ensure that we're getting enough of this vitamin? My personal recommendation is to say that it's a blend of staying outside in the sun, safely of course, we're not trying to turn into a lobster or anything, and eating vitamin D rich foods, and maybe even taking some supplements on top of that. But remember, moderation is the key. Too much sun can actually be just as bad as too little. So research already indicates that there is a clear link between low levels of vitamin D and androgenic alopecia or other various forms of hair loss. In one particular study, researchers actually observed patients with hair loss conditions like androgenic alopecia, that we know as the classic male pattern baldness, and stuff like alopecia areata, those random patchy bald spots. And guess what they found? Many of these patients had one thing in common. Yep, low levels of vitamin D. Now I already imagine what you are thinking out there. Does this mean that I should start sunbathing to save my hair? Unfortunately, it is not as simple as that. This study doesn't suggest that vitamin D is the magical cure for hair loss, but it does highlight an important piece of the puzzle in understanding hair loss in general. What is really fascinating here is how vitamin D plays a role in the hair growth cycle. As I said before, when vitamin D is low, well, there isn't gonna happen a lot with your hair growth. And this is one of the ways that lack of vitamin D actually can lead to hair loss or thinning. So what's the takeaway from this scientific work? It's a reminder that our body's nutrients, like vitamin D, are key players in our overall health, including the health of our hair. It's about finding that sweet spot of vitamin D levels for optimal hair growth. Don't just take my word for it or even the studies of the scientists. if you are concerned about hair loss, it is worth checking your vitamin D levels and having a chat with your doctor. After all, knowledge is power, and in this case, it could also mean a healthier head of hair. So now it's time to talk about how to spot vitamin D deficiency. This is crucial because, like a sneaky culprit in a mystery novel, vitamin D deficiency can often go completely overlooked and unnoticed. First and foremost, let's talk about your hair. If you're noticing that it is thinning, shedding more than usual, or you're just seeing some patchy bald spots, it could be a clue pointing towards vitamin D deficiency. But remember, once again, hair loss can have many causes. So this is just one piece of the puzzle. Now, beyond your hair, there are a bunch of other signs to watch out for. If you're feeling a bit more tired than usual, or as I'm assuming that a lot of my audience is working out as well, if you're experiencing some muscle weakness or bone pain, especially in the winter months, your strength is going down, these can be telltale signs that your vitamin D levels actually are lower than a limbo stick at a beach party. And let's not forget this, mood swings. If you're feeling down and in the dump and can't figure out what's really going on, it might be time to go to a doctor and having your vitamin D levels checked out. This vitamin plays a key role in mood regulation, so a deficiency could be contributing not only to hair loss, but actually just to your overall mood. And of course, as usual, as I always recommend, the only way to know for sure is to go and get your levels checked. A simple blood test can tell you whether you need more vitamin D and actually how much you need. You can't just rely on symptoms alone. Some people with vitamin D deficiency does actually not show any signs at all. It's like trying to solve a mystery without all the clues. And that is once again why I say over and over and over that it's a good idea to talk to a doctor, especially if you are at risk for deficiency. So who is at risk? When I'm talking about who is at risk, that could, for example, be me. I live in Denmark, it's cold here, it's dark a lot of the time. I'm gonna move to Finland now, where it's even darker, I am at risk. I stay inside a lot, I work at the university, I don't get a lot of sun. So if you stay inside a lot, or if you have a really dark skin tone and you live in countries up in the north like I do and deep in the south, you are definitely at risk for having too low vitamin D levels. So now that we learned how to spot a vitamin D deficiency and how vitamin D works and what it is, it's time to talk about how we are boosting those levels. First up, the most natural way to get vitamin D, as I told you before in this video, is the good old sunlight. When your skin is exposed to the sun, it produces vitamin D. So consider taking your coffee outside, going for a walk in the morning when there's sun. There's a lot of other great benefits for that also. But remember, sun exposure should be safe and moderate. We're not going for that thick sun-kissed, sun-slapped tan or anything like that. And always wear a sunscreen to protect your skin from harmful UV rays. Remember, there's a massive difference between UV rays and just sunlight. You don't want all of it. Then let's talk about food. Not all of us, like me for example, can just soak up enough sun all day, and I especially don't like staying out in the sun, especially in the winter. And if you live like I do up in Denmark, this is where vitamin D rich foods come into play. Fatty fish like salmon and mackerel, egg yolks, and as I told before, fortified foods like dairy, orange juice,
one eternity later,
and be a really great addition to your diet. And if you're in doubt, just Google it. Google is pretty easy to use. And if we take it a little more extreme, what if food and sunshine aren't enough? Well, this is where we look at vitamin D supplements. These can definitely be a game changer, especially for those in high risk of deficiency, like me for example. The key here is the right dosage. This is not just the more the merrier situation, so it is important once again to talk to a healthcare provider before starting taking any kind of supplements. But personally, I take 15 milligrams of vitamin D every day. But as I said, I live in Denmark and it's cold and it's wintry and I don't like going out in the sun. So this might not work for you. So usually I would go and have a chat with my doctor and just ask if I'm in risk of anything. I also dropped a link down below in the description for the vitamin D supplements that I prefer. But honestly, any kind is better than no vitamin D in my opinion, so just pick whatever you like. Pick from your grocery store or your healthcare provider, whatever suits you. And then last, let's not forget about lifestyle. Regular exercise and maintaining a healthy weight can help improving vitamin D levels. You know, I talked about this a ton of times. Get enough sleep, have a nutritious diet, you know, go outside, get some exercise. It's not just good for your hair, it's also good for your health. Usually when people are losing hair, it's a sign that they're not healthy, okay? And I hate to bring this to you guys, and some might get really mad about this, but there is a direct link with general health and hair loss. Remember, boosting your vitamin D is not just about your hair, it's about your overall health. So take these tips, add, you know, a bit of patience to it and some consistency, and you're on your way to not just healthier and thicker hair, but also just a healthier overall you. That is it for today, guys. If you have any tips for your fellow hair loss fighters out there regarding today's topic, or any questions, or just want to share your own experiences, I would really love to hear from you down in the comment section. And besides that, I'll see you next Monday for the next video.